Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of To Be Continued. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a good week. Oh, man, what's up with me? Nothing special, nothing different, you know what I mean? If you're watching this, you can obviously tell I'm wearing a belt. Not just any belt, a WWE Championship belt. That's right. You're looking at a champion. And by that, I mean someone that could afford to buy this belt. Look, let me flex for you. Here you go. I don't mean to intimidate everybody off the bat, but sometimes badasses don't have time to not be a badass. So here's the thing. This is a heavy belt, by the way. So heavy that I'm going to have to put it down because I can't do the podcast like this. I tried, but man, look at this. This is what I'd look like as a wrestler. Oh man, hold on real quick. I gotta put this down right here. And I guess I'm gonna put this one on. That's a little bit easier. Hey, what's going on? So, you guys, we're doing this. I'm doing another video podcast. Yeah, look, this is a more accessible belt. More easy on the shoulder. Thank you to everybody that checked out my podcast last week. It was so fun. People watched it. All four of you listeners actually watched and listened to it. What? I hope everybody's having a good week. I'm doing good. It's Thursday. I normally wanted to upload the podcast earlier in the morning, recorded it yesterday, but this week has gone by me so quick. Tomorrow's Friday and I have to do this podcast and then I have to pack stuff to do my weekend of shows. Starting tomorrow, I'll be doing 5 shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shows at the San Jose Improv, which I'm really excited about. I think we've sold out one of them shows at least. And then on Monday, I'm doing April 17th. I'm at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco. What? Oh my God. Everywhere you go, everywhere there's a heart, I can't hold on to. What up, Full House? How you doing? I'm very excited. I love San Francisco. San Francisco is always a good time, so I'm really stoked. If you want to check me out this weekend, if you want to say hi, tickets are available at the San Jose Improv, at Cobb's Comedy Festival, and also at my website, CristelaAlonzo.com. My website is my name. What's going on with that? Anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm a little exhausted, I guess. Honestly, I'm a little exhausted. I think everything happening in the news right now is just draining to me. Do you know what I mean? I feel like, look, it's probably social media, right? But when I was younger, big headlines didn't come as quickly as they do now. You know, I feel like now there's a big breaking news headline and then I don't have time to recover from it. And there's a bigger one that comes out and you're thinking, wait, how's that happening? I haven't even soaked this one up, right? So I'm a little tired. I wrote down some little notes here in my fancy program called Word Doc. And I just wanted to make sure that I hit all of them. So I made notes. So let's see. But am I right? Don't you feel like the headlines are just a little much? I'll be living my life. Then I see a headline and it's just like, oh. I'm like, what happened? What? Then 30 minutes later, it's like, ¿qué? That too? Right? By the end of the night, I go to bed and I'm like this, I'm going to try to sleep. Because I'm just surprised all day. But, so, as you can tell, I went to WrestleMania. If you follow me on social media, you'll know that I went to WrestleMania 39. This is my second WrestleMania that I've gone to. The first one that I went to was WrestleMania 23. That was in Detroit at the Ford Field. I went with a friend of mine because we both liked wrestling. And I remember thinking, a couple of my friends were like, why are you going to WrestleMania? Why are you flying to Detroit, from LA just for a show? I'm thinking, because it's WrestleMania. It's the big one. And I had the chance to go, so why not go, right? Honestly, I had to go to this one because the first one I had was seriously one of the best times of my life. It was so amazing. It was so fucking fun. When I realized that WrestleMania 39 was going to be local, I'm like, sign me up. WrestleMania is just it was cool. But look, it was at the SoFi Stadium here in LA. It's a new venue that just opened. It's like the big venue, right? I want to say that when I was there, like WrestleMania said that there were over 80,000 people in attendance or something. So and that was on day number 2. So I can't even imagine what day number 1 was. It's just a bunch of people. First thing I went to see at SoFi was the Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett concert. I took my brothers to see it. Now, I'm going to be honest. Look, when I go see shows, I want great seats. I am very privileged to be able to afford these seats. I always have to wait to the last minute to buy the tickets because I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. So I can't plan ahead. Like right now, John Mayer's in LA tomorrow. And I bought tickets months ago and I have to do San Jose. So now I have to get rid of the tickets. So that's why I always wait, till it's closer to the date and I know I can go. Here's my thing though. So I got floor seats to WrestleMania because mostly people sit during the rounds, like the matches and stuff. For concerts, I hate sitting on the floor because I'm short. So if I'm on the floor, anybody can block me. I'm sorry, people with signs. Dude, come on now. Why does your sign get to see the show but I don't, right? So usually when it comes to concerts, I'll get tickets on the sides, like the first 2 rows off the sides, right? So I got some lift. I feel like a pharmacist, looking around at people like that's right. I'm up here, you're down there, right? So I got floor seats, and look, does any of these details matter? Not really. I like to overshare. So at during the Def Leppard, Motley Crue of it all, uh, look, we all have to go to the bathroom. With people with so many people going, I think they said at the Def Leppard, Motley Crue, that the whole thing. I want to say that it was over 70,000 people that were there. Right? They couldn't fit one side because one side was the whole stage, right? So they couldn't seat these people. But I was amazed at how many people they fit. I get it. There's a bunch of people there. And what are the problems you're going to have? Bathrooms. You're going to have to wait in line for the bathrooms. I get it. We had no problems for that concert. I mean, look, I usually timed it to where I would go to the bathrooms exactly when the bands were changing, so that they would set up the stage and I had time to go to the bathroom. Long lines. I mean, you have men, you had women, just a bunch of people. But no problem, because you understand that when you go to a concert, like for me, if I go to a concert, I'm going to go. Especially if I have like a beer or 2 or 9. I'm kidding. But, you got to go. So it was perfectly normal for that concert. So when WrestleMania came around, I thought, simple, right? It's going to be like last time because I've already been there. So check this out, because I got a little annoyed here. Now, I got a lot annoyed. The whole WrestleMania thing, it starts like every other event, right? You go, you go to the bathroom, wait in line. Now, I realized, the event lasted like about 4 hours. I realized 2/3 of the way. Now, I've been going to the bathroom, and I would say a little past halfway point, I go to the women's bathroom, and there's security there telling me that I can't go in to the women's bathroom. And I'm thinking, oh my God, something happened, right? And she says, there's a man inside. And I'm thinking, okay, well, is that a problem? Like, is he causing a commotion? What's going on? And she said, he's using the bathroom. And I was like, okay, well, I'm okay with that. I need to go. Can I go inside? And she was like, up to you. And guess what? My kidneys were like, girl, you going inside. So I went to the bathroom. Now, here's the thing. 4-hour event. WrestleMania. What do you think is going to happen? The big match everybody wants to see is at the end, right? It's Roman Reigns, it's Cody Rhodes, you know what I mean? At this point, this is the match that we're all waiting for. I have to go to the bathroom. during, like, right when they were changing over to the match. I get there, and they tell me that the women's bathroom is now no longer for women. Both lines are for men and men, right? So I'm like, well, where do the women go to the bathroom in my section? And they said, you got to go line up over here. And I go to the line, and the line is so long. It's so long. And I was like, what's up with that? And they're like, well, too many men are seeing the WrestleMania. So women, you got to condense, and you got to go down to this. It was a family bathroom. You know, like the family bathrooms where they have one stall, like it's just one toilet, one sink, everything, whatever. If you can hear that, that's my neighbor. He rides a motorcycle. He went pretty quick, actually. Sometimes he'll just stand there and, like, seems like paint a picture and then he leaves. But I don't understand motorcycles. Anyway, so they made us, all the women, stand in line to go one by one into this bathroom because too many women wanted to hear it. Can you hear that? If you can, that's my neighbor with the motorcycle again. I think he heard me. But then, so it was this thing where I was telling them, well, what if I'm okay with sharing the bathroom with the men? Because the women's bathroom doesn't have urinals. So they're all stalls. So I'll be able to, like, go to the bathroom myself and not feel uncomfortable with guys. Like, I'm fine with it. And they're like, nope. Let me tell you, they changed this policy right towards the end, right when the main round, when the main match was happening. And I had to miss so much of it because I had to go to the bathroom. No explanation given, no anything. It's just stupid, right? And I get upset. And I'm telling them, well, why is it that I have to wait? Because both restrooms are for men. And they're like, well, it's just a lot of men like wrestling. What the fuck did you just tell me? It's not my fault. It's not my fault that, what, not enough women came or whatever. And honestly, I don't give a shit. I need to go to the bathroom, and that's a woman's bathroom. If you were going to do this, set up the policy right from the top. Don't do it. Don't change it halfway through the point and then expect me to, like, just be like, oh, okay, pues I guess it's just me being a girl. It's my fault for liking wrestling. I'll let the guys do it. Like, what? Get the fuck over yourself. I was so annoyed. I got back to the seat, and by the way, I had the floor seats that come with the chair. Okay? If you're a fan, you know what I'm talking about. I got to keep my chair. But, it was just so frustrating, right? So, I don't know. It just made me so mad because I'm like, you're making me miss wrestling because you didn't think about how many people were going to come to the fucking event. What happens next time something like that happens? It was just really annoying, And to me, I was really excited to see WrestleMania. I grew up with wrestling. I got it from my mom. I'm not kidding. Like, that woman loved wrestling. Like, I think it was because of the lucha libre stuff back in Mexico, When I was growing up, we grew up in this abandoned diner, right? Like, I've spoken about it before, right? So the first 7 years of my life were there, and then we moved into this little house that I ended up growing up the rest of my life at, till I moved out, right? Little house with 2 bedrooms. Now, the only doors the house had was the front and back door. So no doors to any of the rooms. They were all open spaces. And, so we didn't really have a lot of privacy. It was just, and it was a little house, right? So you walked in, there would be the living room here. And then right here, and by the way, no hallways. So all the rooms were connected, right? Living room when you walked in, a little tiny room that my mom and I shared. And over here, a little bigger bedroom that my brothers shared, and then the kitchen. That was pretty much it, except for a bathroom, right? That didn't really work a lot of times. So, my mom and I, we shared a twin bed till I was 18. We had this little room. It was probably, I don't know, maybe like 9 feet by 9 feet. We had bunk beds. And the top bunk bed, like, we didn't use. It was broken, so we would have to share the bottom bunk together. And that's how I grew up till I was 18 years old. And we had a little TV in our room, and we had one in the living room, the bigger one. The bigger one was for my brothers because that's how it worked. Now, I could watch anything I wanted on this TV until my mom was home. She would work at a restaurant. She was a cook. So whenever my mom was home, I had to share the TV with her and watch everything she watched. Now, her day off was Monday nights. So if you're a wrestling fan in the 80s and 90s, just like my mom was, you know what that means. Monday nights, we used to sit down and watch WWF on the USA Network. It was always the same. Like, I'm not kidding. My mom loved wrestling, right? And she had this little patio chair, like an outdoor chair that was made out of plastic that we got at Walmart. And she would use it as indoor furniture. We didn't have money, and that was like her chair. That was her furniture. And I would always sit on the floor next to her and we would just watch TV, and I would just watch anything that she would watch, and a lot of the TV was mostly Spanish TV, Mexican TV, like Televisa, like the studio out there, like Telemundo, Univision, and wrestling. My God, wrestling. It was just, loved it. We were there for like 3-4 hours just watching wrestling. And man, we used to have so much fun. Oh, we used to laugh. We used to do everything. Like, we enjoyed it. We had a blast. We loved watching it. And we used to like get mad, like along with the wrestlers when they would get interviewed and they would threaten the other guy, like, I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? Like, my mom and I would be like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just loved it. And I remember one of the cool things that we used to laugh at was there used to be this thing that they do where sometimes, it was like they would always have matches where it was this really well-known wrestler and an unknown wrestler, that didn't even have a name. And it would always start out the same because we always would make fun of the unknown wrestler. We'd be like, oh, look who's going to win. I wonder who's going to win. Jake the Snake Roberts or Bob? You know what I mean? Like, because those matches were always like so obvious to tell who was going to win. They'd go to the match. Bob was probably already in the ring. He had like some basic like spandex, like, underpants. He's just like waiting. And then you got to give the big intro to like the well-known dude, Jake the Snake comes in with like his snake or whatever. Like, if it's $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, he comes in with like his tuxedo, his sequin tuxedo, throwing out cash and stuff. And my mom and I would look at each other. We're like, oh, I don't know, man. I think Bob's got a shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous. But we used to love it. We used to love seeing it. My mom was such a big fan of like Elizabeth, Macho Man's like, manager wife. Like, she would just, she's like, ay, mira qué bonita Elizabeth. And she's there for her man, Macho Man. Like, she just loved it. And, that's how I grew up. We also had like the, was it the WCW from TBS? Now, a lot of you youngins don't know, but TBS back in the day, it was a solid network, especially because they used to start all their shows 5 minutes behind everybody. So like how everybody would start at 7:30, TBS would start their shows at 7:35. They're just like, go see what everybody else got, then you can come to us. Like, that's basically it, And aside from TBS, we also used to watch Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. That used to come out on Saturday nights, like at 11 or so on ABC. So it would kind of compete with Saturday Night Live. And my mom and I used to love Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It was just awesome. But, my mom always loved wrestling. Lucha Libre. We used to watch a lot of the Santos Blue Demon movies in Spanish. For those of you that are unfamiliar, these two are luchadores, right? They're wrestlers, and they would star in movies, and they would fight against these monsters like the women vampires, right? Las mujeres vampiras, or the mummies of Guanajuato, right? Las momias de Guanajuato. And of course, you gotta win. You gotta beat these monsters by wrestling, right? Like, these guys wore masks, so you never knew what they look like, but they always won through wrestling. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious, how like all world problems are solved by driving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how, but every problem in the world, like climate change, could be fixed by a race. That's how it was. And we grew up with wrestling. We just watched it all the time. It's just ingrained in us. And it was funny because, like, my brothers liked it, but my mom and I loved it. The only thing that sucked, though, is that we could never afford to watch WrestleMania when it was coming out, you know? You know, like those heyday, like the heyday of like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, and you're like, get the hell out, who's gonna win, right? Well, it would happen, and we didn't watch it. So we had to do the old school thing. If we wanted to watch WrestleMania, we had to wait till they dropped the VHS at like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster, which sucked. Because let me tell you, if you ever tried to check out like a new release, something that just came out in the movies, if it was dropped at a rental place, you couldn't see it. If you were lucky to get it first, you would keep it for a while. Like, you would let those fees build up because you didn't return it because you want to see it again. So sometimes with the WrestleManias, we would wait till they came out, and then we'd have to go. We'd go to like Blockbuster, we'd go to Hollywood Video, we'd just look to see if like it was checked out. If it was empty, we're like, damn it, next time. You know what I mean? It's just what we did. But we were always a wrestling family. I said it last podcast, my mom was a big tomboy. I got my tomboy ways from my mom, you know? And we grew up with wrestling that now, even now, my sister, she's in her 50s. And when I go visit her, she will grab my arm and twist it until I ask her to stop. Like, she'll twist it. And she'll keep yelling, manita de puerco, which translates to like pig's hoof. It's like a wrestling move, I guess. So imagine a woman in her 50s. I'm in my mid 40s, and that's how we do it. We've been doing that since we were little girls. That's the kind of family I'm from. You know, wrestling to me has always just been fun. It's nice. It's like fun entertainment. You see the moves, you see like the stories and everything. And, you know, wrestling has always it's always been one of those things where people will get shit on if they like it. If you say you like wrestling, people will be like, oh, you know it's not real, right? It's entertainment. Like, what are you telling me? Like, you're going to be like, I'm going to be like, oh, it's not real? Oh, I didn't know. Like, get out of here. It's fucking fun. I mean, you know, it's like, why would you even say that? Like, do you think that you're going to break some news to me that I've never heard? Like, Cristela, sit down. Wrestling's not real. Oh, no shit. Thank you for telling me. Like, just let me live my life. You know, actually, it would be kind of funny, though, if you think about it, if wrestling was real. I mean, like, imagine that's how you just fought people that you couldn't stand in life, right? Like, let's say that I was walking down the street and someone bumps into me, like, really hard, like, poof, and doesn't say sorry or excuse me or anything. Now, that shit makes me mad. That shit gets me so pissed off. Like, I would love that wrestling were real, that I would just be, like, so upset that I would look at this person and, like, it's on, like, Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hell no. We're gonna settle this shit next month in the ring. Now, let's go create characters, work out and get in shape, find some spandex to wear, and, oh, by the way, it's BYOFC. Bring your own folding chair. Ah, like, that would be kind of cool. You know? But I get it. It's entertainment. You know? You watch it to be entertained. Yeah, people write the storylines. The injuries are real. I mean, the personalities, they come from somewhere. You know? It's most importantly, can I just talk about, that brings me to a point. Can we stop trying to shit on things that people like? I mean, can we? You know, it's just so weird to me how you can say you like something. We live in a time where now you say that you like something and people are so quick to shit on it. If you say you like something, somebody will be like, they suck. It sucks. It's bullshit. Why? Why do you do that? I've never understood that. Like, who the hell asked you? Why would you say that? I just told you that I enjoy it, and you're gonna shit on it? Like, I don't understand why people love to judge things that make other people happy and not hurt anyone. I've never understood that. It's like, I don't understand the need of trying to shame people for what they like and what they do. Like, on purpose, you do that. In the past, I've gotten shit from people. They make up shit. I've had people tell me online, dress your age, act your age. What the fuck is that? I'm 44. How does 44 act? How does 44 dress? Look, I wear vintage tees. I like wearing jeans, pants. I don't wear makeup unless I'm working. But it's like, it's my prerogative. I could do what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, just let me live. It's just so weird. I've never understood when people will actually go on tangents. They'll go on rants about how people suck for doing something, or they start calling them out and trying to make them feel like shit. Like, a perfect example, aside from wrestling, people that go to Disneyland. Now, people, I don't follow them, nothing, but I've seen posts that come up on my timeline on social media, and it's people that are they're just shitting over adults that like to go to Disneyland. Like, it just bothers them so much. You know what I mean? That it bothers them so much they have to make a post telling people that there's something wrong with them. Why do you feel you have to do that? Like, what is that doing to you? And I say that because I'm one of those people. I love going to Disneyland. I love it. I don't get what's wrong with it. I didn't grow up going to amusement parks. We didn't have money for stuff like that. Like, we could barely afford money for food. I went to Disneyland in 2015 with the cast of Cristela, with the cast of my TV show. And Andrew Leeds, who was my co-star, he played Josh from Work, if you're familiar with it. He planned a day, like a trip to Disneyland for everybody because I wasn't familiar with Disneyland. And I gotta be honest, it took me a while to understand that the goal was to have fun. Because I didn't grow up in a family, in an area where we really had fun days, To us, it was more about trying to find the fun living in real life, if that makes any sense. It's like, try to find the fun as you're working to pay bills. Mira how fun it is that we're paying bills. Oh my God, all the fun that we're having with this electricity and the water. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to understand that the point was to have fun. And I spent the whole day there. And I left thinking that I wanted to do it again. Eventually, I bought a yearly pass. And I bought a yearly pass for my BFF Steve, because I needed somebody to go with me when I wanted to go. And we just started going on random days. And, it takes less than an hour to get there from where I live. And we just started walking around and getting on rides, and it was fun, I mean, for me, being able to do that, have the access to that is a privilege. It's like I live somewhat near, Disneyland. And I can go whenever I want, and it makes me happy. What's wrong with that? I feel like so many of us love to place judgment based on boundaries that they were taught, right? Like, the Disney people are weird. They like to go to Disneyland for fun. Ugh. They like to cosplay for fun. Gross, It's the same thing with wrestling. It's like, oh, you like wrestling? That's fake. Stupid. Oh, you like that wrestler? Dumb. Why? It makes me feel good. It makes the fans feel good. What's the problem? My question is, how the hell is this ruining your life? I mean, each of us have our own path for happiness, right? Judging it is bullshit. Now, I buy Lego sets. I've loved Lego since I was a little kid. Love it. I used to have the big blue bucket, right? And I would just build. I used to build. The number one thing that I would build was my dream house. Because I described the house I grew up in. I was very grateful for everything I had growing up. But that little blue bucket, I'd pour it out and I'd get the pieces and I would build my dream house. And my dream house always had a porch or a deck. I always liked the idea of being outside in my house, you know? It let me just imagine and create things that I wanted in my life. And I love it. Still do too, because I love it now because they have sets of things that I'm a fan of. And it makes me feel good buying it. I like going to Disneyland. It's the kind of fun that I missed out on as a kid. So why can't I do that now? I mean, I'm a wrestling fan. It reminds me of bonding with my mom. So let me have it. And I'm saying this, like, it's not that people are going after me specifically. I just see it. Because honestly, let me just say that. I don't give a shit if people come after me for that shit. I found my happiness. It's very hard to be happy. It is very hard to find your happy. And let me tell you, when I found it, I wasn't going to let anybody stop me from having it. But I see posts online of people that go after just these groups that like something, that want to be a certain way. And they just go after them because for some reason it makes them feel good. But if they're happy and they're not hurting anybody, what's the problem? I mean, seriously, I think the point is we live in such a strange time now. I think we need to let people have their joy without shitting all over it. If something makes you happy, brings you joy, go ahead and do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you're too old, you're too young, you're too fat, you're too thin. Don't let anybody tell you. This is one of my biggest annoyances. When I say that I like something, and somebody will say something like, I didn't know girls like that, or I didn't know Latinos like that. I'm not representative of a whole community. I like it. Cristela likes it. That doesn't mean that every Latino and every woman likes it. Like, when people say, oh, I didn't know that Latinos and Black and Asian, Native, white people were into that. You know, it's just like, well, as you can't do a blanket statement. You have to personalize everything by the people that are saying it, you know? People can be like that all the time. And I guess now it's like, now that WrestleMania has happened, I realize that it made me happy, even though Cody should have won. Look, let's be serious. Cody Rhodes should have won. That was classic match of he had it, some bullshit happens, then he don't have it. He should have won. I think a storyline will come up where he can have the chance again. But that's another story. You know, I just feel like WrestleMania had made me so happy, except for the bathroom. And really, that's the point of it all. SoFi Stadium, if I want to go to the bathroom, let me fucking go to the bathroom. I mean, I paid money to go see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and I had to miss a chunk of it because women were standing waiting for a family bathroom to open up. That's not fair. I paid good money to go to the bathroom when I want to go to the bathroom. I mean, I guess that's it. That's what I want to say. Can I also just say that I think that one cool thing that happens is when you go to something, when you go to like a show or an event like WrestleMania and you see people so happy, you realize that you're part of this community that like you all understand that you're really happy to be there without saying anything. And of course, I'm the person that goes crazy on merch. I have t-shirts after t-shirts. I have like the the briefcase. I have the belt. You know, I go crazy. I'm the person that, like, if there's merch, I want 10 of them in every size in case I lose, gain weight, or I bump into people that need one. I just love to buy it. But seriously, I just feel like it's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I think that we all should be allowed to like what we like, what makes us happy without judgment. And remember, if someone does judge you for liking something, fuck them. You don't need their approval. I mean, you gotta live your life. This is all the only one we got, right? Gotta make it worth it. So I guess I'm gonna sign off. I have to say thank you again. I said it at the top, but thank you for listening and watching my podcast. The video thing is so new to me that I'm still trying to get the hang of it. But if you haven't watched it, you can check out my podcast on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com Cristela9. I'm Cristela9 pretty much everywhere. People ask me, why Cristela9? Well, because Cristela has always been taken, like just the name, and 9 is my favorite number. So I just decided to do Cristela9 for everything. Just keep it uniformed. So check me out on YouTube. Please, if you enjoy the podcast, tell your friends about it, subscribe to it, yada, yada, yada. And it was really nice hanging out with you guys. But honestly, I gotta go. I have to go pack. I have to go pack for my shows. Remember, this weekend, starting April 14th through the 16th, Friday through Sunday, I'm at the San Jose Improv, 5 shows. I think the first show Saturday night is already sold out. There might be another one that's close to selling out, which I think might be the first show on Friday. And this Monday, I'm coming to San Francisco to do 1 show at Cobb's Comedy Club. Very excited. You can buy tickets at their websites or to my website, CristelaAlonzo.com. And, till next time, try to live your life and not have people tell you what you should and shouldn't do. If you find something you like, fuck everyone else. Keep doing it. Man, this belt is so heavy. I feel like tomorrow I'm going to wake up sore from it, but whatever. That's a champion's life. Hope you have a good week. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh.